So guys, it's taking some time to be on live. So we are waiting for a couple more minutes, okay? Okay, guys, we are on live. Okay, Ira, you can start.
Hello, everyone. My name's Ira Chattervedi, and I am a 12th grader here at University High School. So to start off, I would like to thank Uplink Digital for hosting this webinar. And so Uplink Digital was founded by a team of experts who had an immense passion for children's education and their development. And they decided to start Uplink Digital to ease children's learning curve. Built on the 3 E's of education, enable, engage, and empower, the goal of Uplink.Digital is to provide both quality and affordable education to all kids who are keen explorers and are willing to learn, regardless of their background. Uplink.Digital offers age-based and theme-based STEM courses for parents and children across ages, along with stories and activities that provide in-depth knowledge and promote and encourage a kid's curiosity at a completely free cost. To support their courses, Uplink.Digital offers a wide range of learning kits with manuals to make learning a fun and meaningful process for kids of all ages and abilities. One of the biggest advantages of using Uplink Digital's tools is that all of their courses and products are designed by experts. In addition, I would like to welcome both our guests, Mr. Koshal and Mr. Reynolds, today. Mr. Koshal is an Inc. Fellow who has spoken at multiple TEDx talks, and he has also received various awards for his work in space science and technology. Mr. Reynolds is a member of the National Science Teachers Association and the National Association of Biology Teachers. He teaches at Mater Dei High School and has designed and taught several classes in biology, marine biology, forensics, and robotics. He has also served as the science department chair for 8 years at the school. So Mr. Koshal and Mr. Reynolds, if you guys would like to just greet our guests.
Yeah, hi. Hello everyone. This is Saurabh Kaushal. So thank you very much, Ira, for such a wonderful introduction, and thank you, Uplink Digital, for inviting me on this virtual platform to, share my views on the importance of STEM education I mean, the STEM is something which is very close to my heart, because whenever we are talking about technology, right? So this is really close to my heart, and it's really an honor to share this virtual platform with Mr. Jim, who is an expert in the field of STEM education, robotics, and having an experience from 25 years in the field of teaching and all. So thank you very much for inviting me. It's really an honor for me. Thanks, Ria.
And I am here to learn about what Uplink Digital has to offer, because STEM education is really important for students to have hands-on experiences where they're designing and building things with some research behind it, so that it's meaningful and that they can take ownership and have pride in their learning. So it's important for them to engage instead of just have busy work type of homework. The learning is long lasting when they really are part of the learning process themselves. So active learning is the key.
Thank you so much. And to any of our viewers, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to type it up in the chat and we will ask our guests. So my first question for both of you is that one of the core values at Uplink Digital is to provide all children with quality and affordable education. So what are your guys' opinions on this idea, especially in the STEM field?
Well,
So, Jim, yeah, you
go
can start.
ahead.
I mean,
I don't see everyone at the moment.
like, okay. So, thank you, Ira, for asking this question, especially related to affordable and accessible education. So, whenever we are talking about the education, so I remember, the United Nations is having a Sustainable Development Goals that is called SDG. And if we are talking about goal number 4, that is the quality education. So, quality education, affordable education, and accessible education is very, very much important. I mean, in this 21st century. And I think quality education is the right for each and every kid on this planet, right? So Uplink Digital is doing a great job by following the Sustainable Development Goals, that is a quality education, accessible and affordable education. So I must congratulate to Uplink Digital for following these SDG goals. And whenever we are talking about the quality education, right? So for me, education is something. Education impacts all the elements that define a nation, right? For me, education is something that does not means to just acquiring a degree. For me, education is something, I mean, you can acquire some good knowledge that will be beneficial in your future. And as we know, we are living in a 21st century. We have a lot of the technologies available. We have a lot of innovations going on. We have robotics, we have STEM education, space technology, artificial intelligence, and even the few organizations like ISRO, NASA, SpaceX, they are planning to send the people on Moon or Mars. So the world is witnessing a very rapid change in the technologies every day, right? Innovation is just like the part of our everyday life. Even science is the part of our everyday life and all. So that's why I must say innovation and creativity, or all these things are very, very much important. And yeah, I remember a few years back, I met with the former president of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was also the missile man of India. And he quoted the word, knowledge makes you great. So whenever I interact with the students, kids, or in the schools or in the universities, I always mention knowledge makes you great, because your knowledge, your innovation is the thing which only makes you great. People can recognize you because of your innovation. So that's why innovation and creativity is a very, very much important, right, these days. And I mean, if we are talking about the STEM education, STEM not only aims to produce or provide the, I mean, a talent with expert in education, but STEM education can also act as a catalyst which can help in the economic growth as well as the nation development. So as you mentioned about how the STEM education is beneficial, I mean, the Uplink is providing the free and accessible. So definitely, it's a great job by Uplink Digital, because I believe with the help of STEM education, I mean, we can increase the scientific temperament among students. We can increase the skill development among students. We can increase the practical knowledge among students, and which is the need of an hour. We are facing a global pandemic right now. That is a COVID-19, right? Everyone is at home. Kids are at home. School buildings are closed right now. So this is the right time. I mean, educators have to provide the tools to their students, kids, parents have to provide the tools to their kids and all, so that they can engage themselves and they can develop something new. And everyone of know that, I mean, world is facing a billion of problems right now, and we have to come up with the solutions for those problems. And how those solutions will come, if we can start doing some innovation, if we can start working on some technologies. So, I mean, if we're talking about the STEM, it's a combination of everything. It's a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So this is the right time. We have to provide the tools so that they can engage themselves in hands-on experiential learning, and they can learn something new. I mean, and they can do something in the field of innovation technology.
And then just to add to that, the science and technology part is critical for them to realize the steps of the scientific method, to observe that there might be a problem, come up with like a hypothesis that they can design their own experiment to try to test that hypothesis, and then using tools that are really good skill based, even building tables and charts using a different type of spreadsheet program and putting all that together. And, there's so many things out there that students have access to, but if they don't have guidance onto, you know, uh, where to start, how to start thinking critically like this, and where do I begin to build these tools that are necessary, that you learn in school, but can be applied in college and businesses. Having a focus of where you can get these resources is really important, because if students are undirected, then they just wander around, like through the internet, and they get lost in all the available options. So they need focus. Um, it's like online learning, with the COVID lockdown. If given the chance, they're just surfing instead of really being directed into really meaningful learning. So it seems like Uplink Digital has this to offer uh, for focused learning.
Thank you guys so much for your answers to that question. So our next question is like basing off of what you just mentioned, Mr. Reynolds, is how do you think the hands-on activities at Uplink Digital are beneficial when it comes to experiential learning?
Well, I've taken a look at the website with some of the things that they have to offer, and it really is just hands-on, um, designing things and building things. So it's just right on that scientific exploration, instead of filling out a worksheet, go here and find the answer. So it gets them on the discovery path. And then you see the aha moments, and they get excited about learning, and they have the ownership and pride of what they're building. So I see that a lot of the activities at the site are in this format, and I think that's right on.
Thank you so much. Mr. Koshal, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as Jill told, designing and hands-on is a very much important for our students. And I mean, if we're talking about the STEM education, then hands-on or experimental learning is a very important for our kids. And as you mentioned about the Uplink Digital website, and there is a very cool content on a Uplink Digital website. And even I have seen the website, and a lot of cool experiments are there with the scientific concepts are there, right? And even the Uplink Digital have sent me one STEM kit also to me, so that I can do some experiments with the help of the material available in that kit. So if you can allow, then definitely I would love to show you a few of the activities which I have made with the help of Uplink Digital STEM kit, which I have received few weeks back. So if you can allow, then definitely I would love to show you. And I mean, also tell to our viewers what are the the scientific concepts behind those small experiments or cool experiments. So shall I mean, proceed if you can allow me?
Yes, we would love to see a few demonstrations. Thank you so much.
Sure, definitely. I would love to show you. So, yeah, so this is how the box look like. It's a very beautiful box. This is how the box look like, and I love the design. I mean, this is having a space theme and having UFO kind of a stuff here, and rover is there. So I really love the space theme. The made by Uplink Digital. And I love the tagline there. It is written that inspiring the next generation of scientists, right? So that's really a great line. So yeah, I have a few experiment which I have already made with the help of this kit, and I have even shown to my students here in India. So let me show you one activity that is called a balloon car. I have made this type of a balloon car with the help of material available in the kit, right? So the good thing is that I have made this balloon car within 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, with all the material available in the kit. And when I have made this balloon car, there are a lot of scientific concepts behind this balloon car, and I think student must understand those scientific concepts with the help of these toys or with the help of this activity. For example, if I'm talking about this balloon car, we have wheels here, so students can learn about the concept of wheel and axle. For example, if a student is in grade one, right, they can learn about the concept of levers, wheel and axle, right, with the help of this balloon car. And student can learn about the concept of air, how this balloon car, work with the principle of Newton's third law, right? That is for every action there's equivalent a positive reaction. So students can learn about the Newton's third law or with the help of this balloon car. And and if we can compare it with the real-time application, because whenever we are talking about STEM, the real-time application is very much important, right? Newton's third law we can use in this balloon car. Newton's third law also we can use in the rockets, launched by the NASA, ISRO, SpaceX, and all. So in this way, we can compare this balloon car with the real rocket example. How the Newton's third law we can use here, and Newton's third law we can use in the real rockets and all. And so in this way, you can see with the help of this simple one activity, you can teach the concept of wheel and axle, that is levers or machine. You can teach the concept of air, you can teach the concept of Newton's third law by just doing this small activity at home. And I have one more activity to show this to you. This is a very beautiful device that is called a periscope, and it hardly takes around 5 to 10 minutes in order to make this periscope. So you can very easily teach student about what is a periscope and how you can see the things around you, right, with the help of this periscope, and where you can use this periscope. And there is a very beautiful diagram is there, if you can see, right? So periscope we can use in the submarines, so that the small kids, those who are 4-year-olds, 5 year, in a grade 1, 2, 3, they can easily understand where we are going to use this device. And now the thing is that what are the scientific concepts behind this periscope, right? So we have two mirrors inside this periscope. So I mean, the educator or a parent can teach about the concept of reflection with the help of these mirrors, right? And you can also ask the question about what is a mirror, what is a glass, what is the difference between a mirror and a glass. So these type of questions you can ask by doing this type of activities. And these activities are also, teachers can use these type of activities in a classroom in order to teach student about the small concepts related to a science, right? And here you can also teach these mirrors. We have set it at an angle of 45-degree. Then you can ask the question, why this mirror at 45-degree, what is the reflection. So you can see with a single activity you can ask 5 or 6 science related questions, right? And student can very easily make this type of a small devices at home, in a classroom, at schools, or after schools. And I have one more activity. This one is my favorite activity, that is called a traffic light. uh, so let me show you the working of this activity, which is called the traffic light. So here you can see this is a traffic light, right? And I'm sure students can enjoy making this type of activities because there are a lot of wires and new things involved in these batteries and all, because small kids love batteries, motors, buzzers, these type of things. So here you can see we have 3 LEDs right here, and we can teach the concept of what is an LED. So right, so what are the terminals, what is a battery, what is a battery cap, what are wires, the concept of switch, right? So I have here aluminum switch here. So this is a switch, right? So when I'll press it like this, the circuit is completed, right? And the red LED start glowing. So in this way, student can learn about the concept of traffic lights, student can learn about the concept of LEDs, student can learn about the concept of switch, that is an open circuit, closed circuit, concept of circuit making, designing of an LED. So with a single experiment, I mean, student can learn a lot of new things. And even, I mean, they can create, I mean, they can add the creativity also, I mean, in this experiments, right? So in this way, students can, I mean, make a traffic light. I have one more activity with me. Uh, this is called, this activity is called solar and lunar eclipse, right? So when I was in school, I remember when I was in class third or fourth, I never remember the concept of solar and lunar eclipse. So this is a very cool activity, so that, I mean, student can remember the concept of what is a solar and lunar eclipse. So here you can see this torch will act as a sun, and this is earth. So here you can teach about the concept of what is a globe, right? Globe is a model of an earth, right? So you can ask this type of questions. So all these questions will increase the scientific temperament of a students, right? And the student will start asking the questions. So this is again one of the best thing, if students can start asking the questions, right? So, and we have a moon also here, so we can teach about the concepts of, you can say, the revolution of how earth revolves, how moon revolves, rotations, what is an imaginary axis, right? So let me show you the working of, so okay, so this is how this whole the activity look like. This will act as a sun, and this is the earth. And here with the same activity, you can also teach the concept of day and night model of an earth, right? So in this way, suppose as we know, the moon is also revolving around earth. So when the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, it will act as a solar eclipse, because there is no light on earth in this case, as the moon blocks the light. And when moon come behind this earth, this is the case of a lunar eclipse. So you can see how easily, with the help of this hands-on experimental learning, or the kids, you can teach a big concept in a simpler way. And I'm sure, I mean, students love to do this type of activities in a classrooms, at a home. So I mean, so these are the good things behind STEM education. These are the best thing about the hands-on experimental learning, because when student perform this experiment from their own hands, right? When student can engage themselves in this activity, then I'm sure students or kids can learn till their, I mean, lifetime about these activities. And this is not only the case of this science. I'm always, whenever I interact with the parents, I always say, if your kid is interested in music, I mean, he can do something in the field of music. If he's interested in dance, do something in the field of dance. At least you can do something in any field, because the skill development is very, very much important in this 21st century. You at least learn something. If you are interested in robotics, go ahead and learn robotics. If you are interested in space technology, go ahead and learn space technology. So these are the few activities which I have shown. But I must say, Uplink Digital is having a lot of cool activities on their website. I have seen the website, and they have a lot of around 20 to 25 different activities. They have a very good stuff on their website, especially the technical part, because I have read the technical part, and that's really awesome, along with the videos. So these are the few activities. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Koshal. And Mr. Reynolds, since you yourself are a teacher and you've seen how these activities work now, how do you think you can see this being applied in the classroom and the benefits of using such hands-on learning?
Well, the hands-on learning is really important, and seeing the actual models in the kit, that's really interesting. And it's really a precursor to students just going on and taking that experience and joining a robotics team. The basics of wiring and things, if they get that early on, then it just fosters this, hey, I'm really interested in it. And then students will just keep exploring these opportunities that come up, when they get into junior high and high school. They'll join robotics teams. They'll feel like they can contribute. So I can see that, these examples that you've given are basic, but that's where students start. And even when we start in high school, we start with different kits to show them how to build circuits and how to add motors. It's really where STEM is, at its very beginning, and students need that introduction to STEM to feel like this is something that is for them. Otherwise, they'll shy away from it, like, hey, that's just for nerds or whatever. But I think that this is really important that everyone gets a feel for it. So I know in our school, we use different types of robotics. If it is just building these components and going through the wiring, but take it in a step farther, then you can get into some block programming with some additional kits. And then instead of block programming, then they'll get into the script writing and programming. But it all starts with the building components like you were showing, and the concepts, and having that in a kit form really makes it convenient.
Thank you so much. So my next question to both of you would be that since all of these activities, as we learned, are associated with scientific concepts, how do you think Uplink Digital's process of giving these kits to younger children allows them not only to participate in these activities, but also gain exposure to these important scientific concepts at such a young age?
Well, as I mentioned a little bit ago, the kits are convenient. I just saw the packaging here online, and it's exciting getting like a Christmas present or a birthday present. It feels like this is going to be a fun activity, and then they dive in and explore what's in the kit and have fun with it. Having fun with learning is really important, and that hands-on building, having structure on these key elements of scientific principles, as you mentioned, that's really awesome for them to be introduced to these in a young age. And then when they see it again and again, as it gets more complex as they go through the years, then they've got that framework, and then it just starts to make more sense. Really exciting. I like it.
Thank you so much. Mr. Koshal?
So definitely, I mean, as Jim told, I mean, we can give this type of STEM activities to our students or to kids at a younger age, so that, I mean, yeah, there's a fun with, the learning is a very good concept, so that, I mean, in the fun way they can learn the scientific concepts, right? And I must say, with the help of these STEM activities, the kids are able to observe, learn, and understand the concept in greater capabilities. When kids are doing these things by themselves, they can learn, I mean, definitely they can learn the new things, especially designing and assembling, and the scientific concept behind this the STEM activities. And as Didi told about the robotics, so I want to add something. So definitely, uh, when I have seen something on Uplink, so they are also coming up with something related to robotics. So robotics is, again, for a high school student, definitely it's really a great thing. And they must learn about the sensor technology. I mean, they can learn about the electronics, and the basics of electronics, sensor, the different parts, including in robotics making and all, and how you can assemble the robots, right? So the mechanical part, electronics part, software part, that is a programming, recording, or a microcontroller part. So all these things are very much important for a high school student, definitely. So these, whenever we are talking about this activity which I have shown you, so these activities are very good to start with, because these may include a lot of basics thing. And if we can clear the basic concepts of a student, right? So if we can clear the concept like, okay, this is a closed circuit, this is an open circuit, this is an LED. In this way you can make a circuit. These are a very important thing to clear the basics of for students. And I'm sure, and after learning these basics, I mean, students can, I mean, they can go with the robotics, they can go with the space technology, they can, I mean, make a lot of projects, because STEM is huge, right? They can make a lot of projects. Even I have seen a lot of students, 12-year kids or 15-year kids, they are making a rockets also, right? In India, in US. So when I was in US, I have seen a lot of kids are making a cool projects. So STEM is huge. I mean, they can do a lot of things under STEM, and they can make a satellites also under STEM. So STEM is huge, and there are a lot of opportunities in this field.
Thank you so much. That was really informative. So our next question is that right now, given the pandemic and the situation of everyone being at home for most of the time, how is like having access to organizations such as Uplink, who provide offline hands-on activities for children at home, beneficial? Because right now, like personally, I found myself having very high screen time, being on online Zoom classes the entire day, and like learning is very difficult online. So how do you think giving these children like hands-on activities to do will help them establish their foundation better than what's going on right now, given the current circumstances?
Well, you definitely hit a big point there, and that is there's a lot of online time, and I think students are weary of it. It's difficult at times, you know, with the sheer numbers of people online and slowing things down, and that's frustrating. So there are websites for simulations which have their purpose, but it's the pendulum has swung so far to that side of like digital, like online learning that uh, it's a little cumbersome in the way that it's slowed down. It's the same thing. It's a little boring at times, and kids are eager to get back in the classroom. Number one, and secondly, they want to not be in the class and have the same thing that they would have online. So it's important that they get that hands-on, and like group work is almost gone, you know, even at school now with social distance and everyone has to have their own equipment. So this just speaks to the fact that in order for learning to get to that real important methodology, it's got to be where they're manipulating things and building and exploring and doing experimentation, doing the robotics building, and now at our school, our robotics teams are back at building and getting back in the games with the format that the whole league is in. And this just shows that you've got to have that element where they're exploring on their own. Uh, it's more fun, you know, when you can get hands-on instead of everything being like through an iPad, online, on a computer, go to this website, look for that information. So that's been missing for a good 9 months now, and students are really eager to have that back.
Yes, thank you so much. I completely agree. Right now, especially at school with labs and all, it's very difficult to do those online. Mr. Koshal, what would your opinion be on this?
So yeah. So definitely, I mean, students, I mean, they are spending too much time on, online, and the screen time is really, I mean, increased in this pandemic period. But the thing is that, I mean, yeah. So right now, everything is digital because of this, pandemic. Whether it's a school, so I mean, there are a lot of online classes and all, right? And yes, students are very much eager to go back to school, so that, I mean, because the classroom environment is somewhat different, right? And in a classroom environment they can learn, I mean, a lot of new things. But on the other hand, I mean, if we can provide this type of a tools to our students at home, because right now school buildings are closed, schools are open, I mean, but we can provide this type of tools to students at home in the form of a kit, and they can definitely, they can do a lot of amazing stuff at their home also. And whether it is related to the science activities, or it is related to robotics, or it is related to a space. Because right now, I mean, I have interacted with a lot of students. I mean, a few weeks back, I met with a few students. They are making a CAN satellite at their home, right? They have bought all the components from a website, and they are using the sensors, coding, electronics, and they are doing all this stuff at their home. So to all the parents, to all the educators, and I must say, I mean, you can provide this type of a tools to your kids so that they can engage themselves in this pandemic, and they can come up with something new, right, at their home. And in this way, I mean, you can reduce the screen time also, and they can do a maximum hands-on at their home, and they will come up with something new, and they can also learn some new skill set. And when they will again, go back to school, say about after 1 month or 2 months, they will go with a new skill set, right? It's always good to learn about new skill set, whether it is related to physics, chemistry, biology, robotics, AI, or space. So it's always good to learn something new. And I think this is the right time, and everyone is having a sufficient time. Everyone is having at home in this lockdown period and all, and they can learn something new in this period, and they can, I mean, improve their skill set also.
Thank you guys so much. So we have a few questions from our audience. So one question is how parents can motivate children to learn STEM and give them exposure. And then another one, like a little add-on to that, was how can they be motivated to learn STEM at an early age? So Mr. Reynolds, your comment.
It is important that the parent really take the ownership of that. Even at my school, it's in the mission statement that parents are the primary educators. And so that means that they're the primary motivators too. And so now, and when parents are at home and they became the only educator, it's very evident that they need help. And they'll just Google the search, and just find things that really aren't structured. And Uplink Digital, it is really their focus and their goal to make this easier and to help the parents with the motivational tools that are necessary because they don't have the background as educators or what is current and what is easy and age appropriate. So I think that this is just a win-win for the parents and for the kid, that it's really easy to get into this, because otherwise there's just too many options to choose from and it's too confusing. And I think that the scientific principles of STEM are in this kit, and it's really going to help at an early age. It builds that foundational knowledge that they'll need, and they're going to have fun learning, and they're really even like not in a learning environment. It's just the fun exploration environment. And I think it's really going to be great.
Thank you
Yeah,
so much,
so
Mr. Reynolds. So Mr. Koshal, do you have anything to add on to what
yeah,
Mr. Reynolds just said?
so I must say, I mean, the parents and kids, I mean, with the help of this type of activities, parents and kids can spend a quality time together, right? And for example, the mother or father is teaching these small activities to their kids. So in this way, I mean, they can spend the quality time. So this is the best thing behind these STEM activities. They're spending a quality time with their kids. So I'm sure, I mean, the kid as well as a parent can enjoy these activities when they can, together they can do at home in this pandemic period.
Thank you guys so much. So we have another question from our audience regarding the kits. So right now, especially given like the current situation and all of the social isolation, how do these kits also and these activities also help the emotional well-being of a child? Mr. Reynolds.
And as we're hearing on the news, it's not just the worry about getting sick, but from the physical virus, but it's also the mental despair and depression that can come in, and it's all ages. Being active and outside is something that is becoming less and less, and there's more screen time. So I really liked what you said about this is like a family thing. The parents can get off of get everyone off their devices and cell phones put aside, and have a good family time in almost a game fashion, and building this and learning in the process. So I think that the kit will just get everyone having fun and having that family time, because everyone is kind of in their own and maybe in their own room zooming or online, and having that interaction with people is really important. So this isn't really something that the kid is having put in front of them and they figure it out, but it is involving everyone in the learning process. And that is building good family time and memories that they'll remember. Hey, I remember having a good time learning this and this with my family, and the kits enable that to happen. It's not, hey, go to this website, check out this simulation. This has got that hidden benefit in it that will pay dividends for years to come.
Thank you so much for your answer, Mr. Reynolds. So, Mr. Koshal, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, so I'm totally agree with what Jim has said, and even in your previous question, I said that, I mean, spending the quality time with kids is the thing. I mean, we must spend a lot of time with the kids, and because right now, because of this pandemic, everyone is at home from last 4 or 5 months, right? And the kids are, even the youngsters are feeling depressed, right? They want to talk with the outside world. So if you can spend the quality time, and then definitely it will help the kids also.
Yes, I completely agree with that. There's a big family aspect to these kits, which is really nice. So personally, being a student interested in going into the sciences myself next year, I would like to get your guys' opinion on exposing children to STEM and STEM education at a younger age.
I think STEM used to just be something like in high school, and then it moved down to junior high. And I'm sure aspects of it are in the elementary school. And this just speaks about like the use of technology and the appropriate use of it in education, and what are the good methodologies to use online, and skill building, and developing the scientific method in kids at an early age. It's that critical thinking that is really teaching them how to explore the world like on their own, and in a good fashion. So I really think that this kit is bringing that opportunity to them in a very structured way, and making sure that the outcomes are clear at the outset from the kit, and going through the kit step by step will enable them to, really reach these goals that are really important in STEM. So the earlier, the better. I would like to see it with young kids. I'm also excited about teaching robotics to my kids are grown, but they're having kids now. So to my grandkids, and I would sit down with a kid like that, and they would be really excited about learning things like this. And they're young, they wouldn't know what the scientific STEM objectives are, but it will stick with them. And then next time they'll be right in their hands-on building something if they see this again, like in 4th grade or 7th grade. And then they would not shy away from the more advanced topics in STEM in high school. Then the stereotypes aren't going to happen, like, oh, I'm not good at math, or I'm not good at STEM. And then they're not going to feel like that's not for them. So it really does start at an early age.
Thank you so much. I completely agree with that. Mr. Koshal?
Yeah, so Ira, we can start, definitely we can start from the early age. I mean, the students who are in the primary, elementary, and a higher, I mean, they can learn from this type of kids. And children can understand the relevance, I mean, by doing this activity, what they have been taught in the classrooms, with the help of these activities. And they can correlate the connection between the real world, right, by doing these type of experiments. And at the end of the day, I mean, they can enjoy basically, right, by doing these hands-on activities. All right. And in the fun way, they can learn the concepts also. That is a very much important, because in this way you can create a good foundation among students, and youngsters can also learn. And I must say, and the students who are in grade 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, I mean, they are very much excited by doing this type of activities, and they can involve themselves in this type of activities very much. If we can compare the first or second grade student with the 10th or 12th grade students, then I must say, first or second grade students, they want to do a lot of new things, right? They have a very high imaginations and all, if we can compare it with the 10th or 12th grade students. So yeah, so I mean, these activities can definitely help them to learn the scientific concepts. And in addition to that, uh, they can learn the things in a very fun way by using this type of kits. And yeah.
Thank you guys so much. So I think there was a question regarding where you guys can find the kits. So I'm putting the link in the chat for the uplink.digital homepage. So if you go to their homepage, you can go, they have a shop area. So under the shop area, you can see all of the kits. I'm also putting that link into the chat. So 1 second. There you go. So I attached both the links. So one more question that we have for both our guests is, as of now, the prices to get STEM education, to get help in STEM education tend to be very high, whether it be through tutoring or like just additional classes. So what do you guys think is the benefit of having organizations such as Uplink Digital who are lowering the cost of STEM education? Mr. Reynolds?
I think years ago, STEM education was something that wasn't easy to access. Maybe limited resources at the school, and limited a number of students could sign up just because of the way that it was organized at the organization itself. So I know that when I started the robotics program at our school, uh, no one really knew what it was. And so I think we had 4 people on the team. Every year it would grow by at least a dozen. And now, like a regular sport, we even have JV teams. There have been a spin-off of 4 or 5 other classes. So it used to be just a club after school, not accessible to many people, and now it's part of our curriculum. We've even built up our STEM through school with other universities, and so it's becoming more and more commonplace. And I think it's trickled down to the lower grades, and now it seems like it's even accessible to students at or maybe even preschool, because some of these concepts are something that parents would really want to have their students learn something instead of just toys. So these could be considered toys, but they're definitely learning tools that are building the skills. So um, we've talked about it here now for a half hour, 45 minutes, the importance of getting real structured type learning. And this kit and this website offer so many options to choose from in many different areas. So I think that it's great to have a resource like this where you can, like you mentioned, you can shop to see what might be great in the STEM area that you are interested in, and know that when you get a kit that it's not just a game, but it really is teaching the STEM scientific principles. And so this is really great to see a focused resource for parents and for teachers. And so this looked great. I look forward to the resources continuing to build and more offerings, because this is what parents would really love to see.
Exactly. Mr. Koshal, do you have anything to add on top of that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, earlier, I mean, accessible and affordable STEM education is very, very much important, because it is a kind of right for every kid to learn STEM education. Like we have a right to education, right? So in the same way, we have a right to STEM education right now. And if I'm talking about the resources available on the Uplink website, and the resources are very, very good, especially the technical part, because I'm more of a technical person, so that's why I'm talking much about the technical part. So I really love the technical concepts they have on their website, which is, I think, all the concepts are freely available. Anyone can go to the website, and they can learn about the new concepts, about the science behind all these type of activities. They have a very cool videos, and which is, I think, I mean, accessible for everyone. And if anyone want to go ahead with the activities, and they can, I mean, as you mentioned about the link, they can go to that link, and they can check out the activities also. And one good thing, I have seen your Uplink digital box, and it is written that one student, one innovation. I love that line, one student, one innovation. I think that means, I mean, each and every student can do some innovation. I think, which is very, very much important. And this is the message to all our viewers also, those who are watching us, whether the kids, educators, or the parents. You must give the good tools to your students, so that they'll come up with more and more, innovations. Because innovation is very, very much important for any country, right? With the help of innovation, we can increase the economy. We can go with, I mean, we can do a lot of things. I mean, I must say, with the help of innovation only, we will come up with the COVID solution, or we will come up with a vaccine, right? For the COVID. If we have an innovation, if we have a good technology, then definitely we will come up with the vaccines. So that's why this is the power of innovation. So that's why each and every kid must do some innovation and come up with the new ideas. And so we have to start from somewhere. And I think by providing these small tools, small activities in the hands of kids, and we can change the equation. And everything is in the hand of educators as well as the parents. They can change the equation. So now it's your turn.
Thank you guys so much. So our final question from the audience is, what are the job prospects provided with STEM education once children grow up?
I think for the students that I've been teaching, there are jobs that are not even created yet. So they have to have skills that will prepare them for the future. There are a lot of current things that they can do, but they're going to have to demonstrate with their experiences and their skills that they've learned that they qualify for those jobs. But it is probably just as important that they realize that the future is the future that we might not even recognize yet. So I think that they should have the skills to be self-learners. And I think you learn that really well when you have a STEM education, because you explore and you're curious. That piece of curiosity is so important for learning, because if you don't have curiosity, if you're not excited about learning something and learning new skills, then you really fall behind, and you're not going to be competitive when it comes down to a choice between a job that you are going for or even creating your own business. So learning STEM really has that underlying education to it, where you learn to really express yourself. And to speak to that question, it's a little bit difficult, because so many things are technical, and a lot of jobs are going to be replaced by robots or automation. And so you've got to be a builder of sorts, and you've got to have skills that will fit into a company, or you build your own company so that you know what it is that you can express yourself with. These are tools that you've got to have in your tool belt, in order to be a builder. And I think that's where the future is. You just don't know where the jobs are going to be. And you've got to have the education of STEM. You've got to get involved in robotics or programming or 3D design. There's so many different elements to STEM and robotics. It's not just building an automated machine. So being in that support role too, and understanding circuitry and understanding motors and dynamics and all that, that's really important. So you just have to kind of be ready for the unknown, and that is a scary thing, but not if you've got the education and the skills built, because then you'll be able to recognize opportunities.
Thank you so much. That was very informative. Mr. Koshal, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, so I just want to add, I mean, if you have a good skill set, then definitely you will get a good job, right? So if we can see the statistics of most of the countries, if I'm talking about India or any other country, right, there are a lot of jobs available, but people are not skilled, right, in order to get those jobs. So that's why skill development is very, very much important, right? Whether it is in the field of AI, robotics, space tech, STEM. So if you have a good skill set, then definitely I'm sure, I mean, anyone will get a good job in the companies. And that's why I'm always saying you can learn something new. And I mean, this is the right time. Go ahead and learn some new skill set, and which will be, I mean, definitely helpful in your future.
Thank you guys so much. So that concludes our entire webinar. So if anyone has any extra questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Or other than that, I think we're pretty much done then. So yes, thank you guys so much for coming.
Okay. Yep.
Have a nice day, or have a good night for those who are international.
All right. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
You too.